Alright YouTube, what's up? This is the Jedi Reviews, and also known as Jedi 270 from MenaceAirsoft.com. And this is going to be the second review that we do on this channel. This is going to be on my love of Gentle Giant Limited. Gentle Giant, if a lot of people don't know, was one of the very first companies ever to do laser scans. And if you've ever bought action figures before, like from Hasbro, and if you've ever wondered, man, how do they get these little tiny toys to look so much like the actors? Well, they laser scan the actors, and then they make the mold off of the laser scan, and they do a little, sculpting of the molds and so forth. So Gentle Giant was one of the first companies to do this, and what they do is they take a big chunk of polystone and they set that aside to do their sculptings and their moldings and everything, and then they laser scan the actor, and then they build a mold off of that. They pour that into the polystone in there and cold cast it. And then once they do that, it comes out, and then they have different artisans that by hand will sit there and sculpt and perfect the statue. And at that point, once they do this, then they turn around and they send it off to painters to have it painted. Now, this is the Darth Vader collectible bust from Gentle Giant. You can tell he's very well packaged inside there. Very nice decorative box. A lot of people don't care about the box. They don't want to see the box. They want to see the product inside. Well, basically the thing of it is, if you're going to be a serious collector, it's always best to get the box whenever you buy the item, especially if you get it off of eBay. And I want you to be very careful on eBay, because eBay, if you look at stock photos, a lot of times you're going to get a broken piece and you will get burned. So you have to be very careful with eBay. On the back, it just gives you a little brief thing on the laser dimension, 3-dimension laser scanning of the props in Lucasfilm whenever possible. And then it'll give you a little picture on the back of a movie still. And then down here on the bottom, almost every Gentle Giant box, if you'll notice, that one's peeling off. I got to fix that. It'll give you the edition number. So this is 12843 of 20,000 made. Okay, now a lot of you are thinking, okay, cool. There's only 20,000 of them made. But you got to stop and think about one thing that's very important. You're dealing with a very fragile piece. Not a lot of those 20,000 pieces have actually survived. And I would say a good maybe 5 or 6, maybe 10% of them have been destroyed in one way or another. Either broken, chipped, anything of that nature. So, the higher numbers, you can probably get them cheaper than the lower numbers. But there's some collectors just have to have the number one of everything, or the artist proof of everything. And that's cool too. Collect what you like. But you need to keep in mind, out of 20,000 of them, probably more or less, most of them are gone. So let's get this sucker open and take a look at it. Gentle Giant, in my opinion, is probably one of the best packagers in the Star Wars collectible realm, so to speak. Inside, you're going to get your Revenge of the Sith Certificate of Authenticity. This is the Darth Vader limited edition number. 12843 matches your box bottom. Inside here, it has, if it isn't scanned, it's not the real thing. As one of their catchphrases, I guess, that's their registration card. And then on the back, of course, you get your little collector card, Star Wars Darth Vader. And it's always best, if you're going to display this, to display it inside a glass case so the dust won't get to it. And it's also a good idea. It protects it from breakage and that sort of thing. And it's just a real good idea to keep it as protected as possible. I don't know how else to put it other than that without being redundant. Okay, now we'll pull this off to the side. Put that in there because it's windy today. Alright, now you'll see it's a very tough foam inside that's protecting this item. We'll take this piece off. And of course I did it upside down. Duh. We'll flip it over here. It's all Gentle Giant Studios is written on there. And this is how Darth comes packaged. You'll see him setting up in there just like that. Ruby red lenses in his eyes. Beautiful piece. And then of course you have your lightsaber blade, which is here and sits down inside. Now, the lightsaber blade itself, if you'll notice, has a little metal piece that is embedded in there. This is one of the toughest plastics around, but this is most commonly lost and it's the most commonly broken piece on these statues. We'll set this down here for right now. Now on Darth Vader, his tusks are very thin and very fragile, if you can see that. And they are very easily broken as well. The paint job on these things is absolutely incredible. I've tried to find out what type of paint they use because I love painting things, and I've never been able to figure that one out. If you look up underneath his chest here, you'll see his chest box. Everything is accurate. On his belt boxes, everything is accurate, right down to his finely sculpted leather jumpsuit that's underneath there. And his neck chain is metal, and that's cold cast inside there. Absolutely beautiful piece. It's awesome. And every Gentle Giant piece on the bottom will have it written and hand painted. 12843 of 20,000. Gentle Giant Studios, Star Wars Darth Vader. 2005 Gentle Giant Studios Incorporated. It's absolutely a beautiful, beautiful bust. Now, I've seen this one right now on eBay going for around about $49. And some of them I've seen purchased for as little as, oh God, I don't know, 30 bucks. And I've seen people get lucky at the last of an auction and actually get them for around 20 bucks, 20 bucks. So, get one now while you can't take that out so don't drop it. You can see his cape down here at the bottom, how it crinkles up on the top of the dome. Absolutely beautiful piece. I highly recommend you pick one up before they're all gone. There are still more out there that are surviving. You'll notice right here that his under vest, this under draping part of his robes is a gray, which is movie accurate. Absolutely beautiful piece. So I highly recommend that you pick this one up. We'll nestle Darth back down in there, and we'll get his lightsaber back in there. So I basically I'm keeping him in his box because I just don't want to mess things up until I get everything where I want it to be in my home as far as the display goes. So, I try to keep all these things. My Star Wars collection has dwindled over the years due to, like bills and that sort of thing. But I hope to start building it back up and, and bringing stuff out here for you guys to see. And doing a little bit of reviews for you. So maybe, it'll be a channel you can come to. We're going to talk about collecting in general, not just Star Wars stuff. We're going to talk about McFarlane Sports figures. We're going to talk about vintage figures. We're going to talk about maybe some G.I. Joe stuff. And I'm going to start covering a lot of things with you guys on the best way to find these at flea markets, at yard sales, comic book shops, and that sort of thing. And I'm going to try to help you out with some of your questions on the best way to spend your money, how to save money, and how to make money off your collectibles, and how to stay away from danger zones, like buying from a collector that thinks that his items are worth $1 million when they're actually not. So those people you tend to want to walk away from. But these Gentle Giant items are absolutely awesome. The numbers are dwindling, so if you've got the money to spend and you're thinking about buying one, this Darth Vader is an awesome statue, or rather bust to get, and I highly suggest you pick one up. If you have any questions about this item at all, just put it down there in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer them as soon as I can get to them. Thanks for watching Jedi Reviews. This is the Jedi 270. Have a great one.